Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life, and I'm making this video today for you guys. I was asked last night if I could, touch up on the T-Mobile and Sprint merger, and I also wanted to talk to you guys about this interview that Neville Ray had last week with Wells Fargo and the additional network progress that they've made in the past month. And I just wanted to, really explain this to you guys. I just got off of another phone call. I had two this morning. Like I said, I still know people from my when I was with Radio Shack up in higher management with Sprint, T-Mobile, AT&T, and T, and Verizon. So, and they broke it down to me, in terms of business terms, not just me and you talking. They broke it down to me in analytics and stats. So, as you will see here at the bottom, I'm going to show you T-Mobile is now their shares are now valued at about $63 to $65, up from 56, 58. So what that means is T-Mobile is making progress, as we all know. They're gaining customers. Their growth is at a high rate. So what I want to touch up on here with you guys, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but as you can see, T-Mobile claims that they're 99.7% of in reach of Verizon's network by pops, not by square miles. They are nowhere near Verizon on the square miles of LTE as far as where Verizon covers the rural area, the Dakotas, the Montanas. Now, as far as the progress that T-Mobile has made, they added an additional 100 miles of LTE in North Dakota. I seen that. I'm waiting. As a matter of fact, I'm waiting on my buddy to send me a DM of the cell mapper that he used to map that, so I could show you guys in another video. And of course, Band 12 is going to start being rolled out in Montana and Chicago early next year. So what this means is, and the reason people would like a merger to happen, if T-Mobile stays its own company, I know they're owned by Deutsche Telekom, but if T-Mobile doesn't merge with anybody by 2020 and each year, you can expect an increase in your bill. It's bound to happen. There's no way around it. They're spending billions on capex. They invested more billions in this 600 megahertz auction. Then I'm sure they gotta invest more billions in the 5G network. So you as a customer, you have to pay for it. So your bill is going to be increased. There's no way around it. The only way around that would be the merger. If T-Mobile and Sprint merged, they would then have immediate funding for all these network improvements, and everybody's bill could stay about the same. But if T-Mobile wants to take on the competition by themselves, it's already happened with T-Mobile One, but it's going to get worse. So if I don't, in my opinion, and this is just me, you don't have to take my advice, but if I don't see a merger happening in the next 2 years, I'm just gonna go ahead and switch to Verizon because there is, it's going to happen. They're going to increase their prices. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If T-Mobile stays a standalone company in the United States, they will increase pricing. They want to compete with Verizon and AT&T. They want to keep up the network maintenance. They want to improve, add more sites. They're going to have to increase pricing. There's nothing me or you can do about that. Now, the merger with Sprint and T-Mobile, what's tricky about it, what Neville talks about here at the end, I don't know if he's downplaying it. A lot of people are calling his statements BS. But he says here, let me find it. In other words, he pretty much says that he wouldn't want no parts of Sprint's 2.5 gigahertz spectrum. He says it's very patchy, it's tough to deploy from a propagation standpoint, which he is correct when compared to his mid-band holdings. He says he likes his mid-band holdings, which of course he's not going to say I don't like it. But 2.5 is very expensive to roll out as well, because not only do you have to get it on the micro site, then you got to invest money in small cells in places where that spectrum doesn't propagate well, as far as in buildings and places like that, because Sprint doesn't have high bandwidth on their low band, so they're going to pretty much place you on band 41 pretty much throughout the entire time that you're in a market that has band 41. You're hardly going to see band 25 or band 26 unless you're really, 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 really deep inside a building or a mall. But like anywhere else, you should be connected to band 41. That is their high high speed band. So a merger could happen with Trump in office, of course, but it would it would pretty much kill the competition if you think about it. Sprint has in some markets 160 megahertz of 2500 megahertz. That's a lot of spectrum. Then think about it. T-Mobile's band 4, their band 2, their band 66, their band 12. Sprint has nationwide band 26, nationwide band 25, and almost nationwide band 41. If you combine that spectrum holding with the amount of towers that T-Mobile already has because of their cell grid, then you take Sprint Sprint cell grid and you combine that, in my opinion, they would immediately annihilate Verizon and AT&T as far as competition. Because now not only do they have the spectrum, not only do they have the cell towers, now they also have the money if you combine both companies. So that goes to show you that somebody's going to have to give up some spectrum if these two merge. The Sprint, I want to say they would have to probably get rid of half of their 2500 megahertz spectrum. So, and that would probably go to a Verizon or a AT&T. So it's a tricky subject, and we can all discuss it in the comment section down below, as I mentioned in my other videos. I just want you to understand that, if you are with T-Mobile, you're going to see price increases in your bill if T-Mobile doesn't merge. And now look at it from this point of view. T-Mobile's growing. Q3 growing. Q4 will probably be the biggest growth the company's endured, since John Legere has been with the company. Now I think I made a video about this that right now T-Mobile's highest business is still their prepaid, but they're getting ready to pass that here in the next few quarters, because they've been getting ridiculous growth on their postpaid side as well. Now people are saying that they're very lenient on credit. So if most customers are getting a high deposit at AT&T and Verizon, so I've seen it when I was working with Radio Shack. Customer applied, they ran their credit or whatnot, and then they had an $800-900 deposit, and then they would go off to T-Mobile, and T-Mobile said, we'll take you zero down, or we'll take you on the prepaid, and if you make your payments on time for 12 months, you can switch over to postpaid. And I think Sprint is doing something similar. So that's that's a difference right now why T-Mobile and Sprint also are more higher on prepaid than they are on postpaid, but that's changing. And also another thing, like I was saying, T-Mobile's growing every quarter. So if you wait as a company, if you wait any longer, that's why I think Deutsche Telekom wants to wait to sell after the 600 megahertz auction, because in the meantime they're still growing. The network is still getting bigger and more robust. Now the value of the company increases for a purchase. So now instead of charging, I'm just throwing out numbers here. Let's say today T-Mobile is worth $2 billion. If you wait till the auction's done, if you wait till the network is more robust, now you can charge $22 billion to sell your company. So if a merger were to happen, I think any company would try to do it now. Well, not now at this time, but like maybe next year, to get them at the lowest price that they could possibly get them. Because if not, T-Mobile's value is going to shoot through the roof here. As you just seen, their stock is, is valued higher now. Their network is getting better. They're getting ready to fill Montana in. They're getting ready to roll low band in Chicago. They're adding new technologies already to their network. They're opening up the bandwidth on 2 wideband channels, as you've seen on my videos. So T-Mobile is making progress, and they're making moves, and they're investing money. On the other hand, and just if you have Sprint will eventually have to charge more too, especially in their situation with their high band. They have to charge more pricing too. They can't keep offering 50% off. That's not going to work. They have to also, and Marcelo said it already, as more approvals pass through, their capex has to increase as well. Now, with that said, Sprint keeps saying that they found the way to roll out the network at cheaper cost. That remains to be seen. I don't have any info on that. They're being very secretive about it. And, maybe they are taking that approach, one day at a time, to where, T-Mobile turns everything on in clusters. They work, and then they turn it on in clusters. Maybe Sprint is taking the approach, we're going to do one city at a time. We're going to take our time with this, and eventually we'll get better. Which, we have seen big improvements, but we haven't seen any huge expansion. They're still slacking it in some metro markets, in some bigger cities. So they're definitely behind. That's where I'm gonna leave it. They're behind. They're improving, but they're behind. So as you see on my videos, in my market, no band 41, the Las Cruces market where I was at, band 25 performed great, but still, no band 41 or band 26. So, and I know, band 26 is more of a political issue, but that could, and that's also another thing with Trump in office. If they haven't resolved that issue yet, that could possibly be resolved with Trump in office. So it's a win-win, but we do need to see a merger happen with T-Mobile, whether it be Comcast or, Dish Network or anybody, to keep pricing where it is now. Because if not, they're going to add value to the price that we pay. They have unlimited. They're going to probably say, you know what, we're going to get rid of the standard HD pass and just give you an all HD pass, or whatever the next Un-carrier will be. But prices will go up. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, let's get interactive in the comment section down below. I'm getting ready to go into the office. So, let me know how you feel about it. Are you willing to stay with T-Mobile at this point if you're going to pay more? Or would you think about joining Verizon at some point if T-Mobile increases their pricing even more than they already have? Or would you even look at, maybe AT&T, switching to AT&T, since they offer, unlimited? I know it's with DirecTV and Uverse, but would you also look at AT&T maybe? I know it's a tricky situation, but I think, in my opinion, and like I said, these opinions are my own, a merger has to happen with T-Mobile. If not, the Un-carrier is gonna go to a carrier, and T-Mobile knows it. John Legere knows it. Neville Ray, they know it. They're probably saying, "Yo, hey, we need to increase pricing because we're getting ready to ramp up on these network upgrades, and once the 600 megahertz spectrum is available, capex is going to go up." Right now, capex can stay where it is because all they're pretty much doing at this point is adding additional bandwidth, which doesn't cost much. Small cells are a lot cheaper. And I think most of the money that they're paying currently is probably still adding the band 12 on the tower sites, because with band 12 you actually have to go up on the tower. So with the 600 megahertz, whatever band that'll be, they will have to go up on the tower sites in all cities. They will have to make, adjustments, and that's going to cost more. So prices will go up. I can't stress that enough. So stay tuned. I got more videos coming. I found out some additional information about Sprint today, which I'll release that video tomorrow. I wanted to get this out to you guys today. Like, share, and subscribe. Check out my other videos. If you're not convinced yet that T-Mobile is a good good carrier, check out my videos. They're not holding on to their spectrum. If it's there, they're rolling it out. The only thing I can't check yet, the video says, the article says here that they have AWS3 in Texas available. I just don't have a phone compatible to check that out. The LG V20 is the only one, but I'm still not quite there as far as the 12 months. My 12 months are up in March, which is my 1 year anniversary with T-Mobile, and then I can get that phone at 0 down. Currently, my credit is so I would have to make like a $220 down payment, which, holiday season is coming up, so I don't wanna spend that much. So, but once I get my hands on one, I would definitely check to see if that band is launched in El Paso yet. So definitely stay tuned for that. I got a lot of other things coming out. I'm sorry this video was a lot longer than I anticipated. I just wanted to, get my point across to you guys and really get you to understand that, T-Mobile pricing will go up in the future. So, definitely stay tuned, like, share, and subscribe. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.